not humanitarian. I just have to say that. Like, what the Republicans want to do is the opposite of humanitarian, and I think that we need to be clear about that. And I am concerned about these polls. The poll that you were citing also asks them.
Right.
It's 53% of Americans believe that Americans do not have a moral obligation to offer asylum to people who come to the U.S. to escape violence or political persecution in their home country. This is called hawkishness. That's not hawkishness. That's un-American.
Oh, wait till you hear Kirsten Powers' definition of what is American. Welcome to Give Me Five. Kirsten Powers, who I used to think was, as Ed Koch used to call himself, a liberal with sanity. I think she's gone insane on this one. You'll hear her say basically that anybody who's escaping any kind of violence or persecution has a right to come into the United States, and Christians need to do the Christian thing and welcome them in. And Tucker Carlson really isn't having any of it, and you got to watch this.
So you're saying that the United States has an obligation, anyone who's suffering around the world has a right to come here and be supported by you and me.
break the law.
Hey, have you ever been to the Statue of Liberty? I'm sorry, this is how we...
Okay, I like the statue, but I love that you're putting it in clear language. So you're saying in Congo, for example, where there's been a war for 20 years, every Congolese has a moral right to come here, and you have a moral obligation to pay for it.
We are a refuge to the people of the world who look to us as a shining city on the hill. Does that sound familiar to you?
All right, we're a shining city on the hill. We're a refuge. We are the world's refuge. If you have a problem in your country, come to us, and we will let you in. Why? Because we have a moral responsibility or a religious responsibility. Watch.
So I have a moral obligation to share my earnings and my country with people I've never met because they are suffering.
Are you a Christian?
I am absolutely a Christian.
Have you read the Bible? Because
this is not a theocracy.
No.
This is not. Country's not run according to Christian precepts.
You're now telling me that you don't have any obligation as a Christian to care for the...
No, but you're not saying that. No, you're not. No, what you're saying is the U.S. government has a responsibility. Now, you may have a Christian obligation.
You're talking about your taxes.
You can give charity money. That's a massive...
All right, we're not a theocracy, and that's a great point. And if Kirsten Powers believes that there's a Christian, when she asked Tucker Carlson, are you a Christian? That you have a Christian moral responsibility, a Christian religious responsibility, a Jewish religious responsibility to welcome these people, to help these people, then go help them. Go help them. Go donate all your money, donate all your time, donate your facilities. You don't have a right. And these people, any of them, wherever they are in the world, don't have a right to refuge in the United States because they're fleeing tough circumstances. Otherwise, you know, we'll go from 350 million people to 1 billion people. Wouldn't that be lovely for Kirsten Powers? It just doesn't make sense what she's saying. Listen.
There's a way to seek asylum legally.
That's what they're doing.
But why don't they pay for it? When church groups encourage people to come to this country and then they go on the dole, when they go on taxpayer assistance, it's appalling.
The church groups are the only people that are handling these kids.
Really? Because they're referring them. They're referring them to government services. I've seen it.
100%.
Talk about shirking your Christian duty.
Hold on. No, 100% of the people who are taking care of these kids that I have interviewed are with Christian organizations.
And how many of those organizations sign them up for public service?
No, they get. They have to work with the government.
Yeah, really? They do? That's your Christian duty, to shirk the cost, to send the cost to somebody else?
Oh, that's what Christians do? They send the cost to somebody else? Ooh, Tucker. All right, I don't want you to watch this last one.
They're fleeing violence.
There are 100 countries with violence in them right now.
They have the opportunity to prove their case and show that they meet the criteria and the legal standards, but you can't just lump them all together. That's not due process.
Law does. It allows them to make their case. Guys, what the Republicans want to do is make it so they don't have a chance to make their case. They want them turned away at the border.
Republicans, blaming Republicans. Has she heard from the American public on this? As she cited a poll at the beginning, over 53, 54%. I believe the question was to turn them away, don't bring them into this country. Kirsten Powers is for a borderless America. Kirsten Powers believes that people around the world have a right, a God-given right, if you will, to come into the United States if they have terrible circumstances in their own country. And it doesn't work that way, Kirsten. It just doesn't. On the Steve Malzberg Show, News Next Now, update next.